Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us here today. Our big long segment with GCES and Clinton Smith with us this morning. Galen is under the weather today. You're going to sustain this baby for a good 25 minutes here.
It's going to be just me and you. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fine. Let's talk a little bit about GCES, about this season of the year and the season of people's lives and how they can begin to think about retirement savings. Or maybe they're in another boat. Maybe they're getting set to enter into their retirement. They want to make sure things are all finalized. GCES can help them either way.
Yeah. So right now we're super busy right now with filling out retirement books. We work primarily with federal employees, so we have a lot of people in the post office that kind of wait until the beginning of the year. For some reason, people feel like, oh, I'm going to wait until 2026 or 2027 to retire. So a lot of people wait until the very beginning of the year. So the beginning of the year is always a really busy time for us, which is great because it made up for us having Christmas and family time in December. So we've been super busy filling out retirement books, which is great. We've also expanded our TV show across the state of New York recently too, which is kind of exciting. So we're airing, there's like New York City, and then there's like the rest of New York.
Yeah.
We're airing in the rest of New York now.
Yeah, it's like we say there's Philadelphia, and then there's the actual Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So actual New York, we're airing in now, which is exciting. So we've been super busy. Galen, unfortunately, today can't be with us because he is at home with the flu. So I thought he was going to make it in this morning. I was like, are you going to get up? And he's like, no, not happening.
Yeah.
So,
right. So let's talk about a word that you just used, or a phrase you just used. You said they're filling out their retirement books.
Yeah.
Now, when people who aren't versed in what retirement savings is all about and getting yourself set for that portion of your life, what is a retirement book? What's in it?
So for federal employees, it is a big, huge, long, thick book that they have been changing year after year. So there's a ton of changes right now for federal employees and how they fill it out. When it comes down to it, it's this huge, thick book, which if you can't see, if you're not watching on Facebook, if you're listening, it is 3 inches. Is that 3 inches? It looks like 3 inches. Yeah. So it's super thick, 150 pages, and it only ends up needing 12 pages filled out in it. But all of it is stuff that people think that they should read. But Galen can get it all done in an hour and fill out the retirement book for federal employees. For them, they have to fill it out because it is what the government uses to retire them. And there's several different places that kind of get information from there. So there's a lot of different places that are going to use information out of that book. So you have to think about it. So, right. And this is basically our whole business, right? There's Social Security, right? Okay. It has its own phone number. It has its own list of rules. It has its own dates and ages, right? Then you have your pension, which goes off of your years of service and your salary, right? It has its own different sets of ages, dates, rules, requirements, and things like that, right?
And can that vary from agency to agency?
That can vary from state department to state department. Okay. So even if you work in the state of Pennsylvania, police officers' pensions can be different from somewhere else in the state. There's all these little different nuances, especially when you add in state and then also county and then also federal government. So we've been really good at figuring out the different best ways to approach all of them. Do you know what I mean? Because that was only two places, right? That's only Social Security and the pension.
Yeah.
You still have your thrift savings plan, which has its own set of rules. You have a 401k or previous investments. And a thrift savings plan is the same as a 401k.
Okay.
Right. So, and all of those have different numbers, different rules, different regulations, different IRS laws specifically, and that one that you have to follow. It's really hard for people to put all of that together themselves.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? That's why we do all of that, because we know how to work with all of those different places to help people understand the different parts of it. Because everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to retire. I'm just going to sign a couple papers and they're going to send me a check every month. And it is not that easy.
That's down the road, they're thinking. You know, we don't have to think about that yet. And besides, people really probably don't have any idea what they have contributed. They're probably not sure of what their plan is. Plans change all the time. And if you've been working for the government for 40 years, how many times have those plans changed and the rules change and the methods by which you save are changed? So it can be a boondoggle. You need somebody to figure that out.
Even with federal employees, we use that as an example a lot. Do you know what I mean? Federal employees, they get federal employees group life insurance. It's the largest group insurance company, life insurance policy in the whole world, because it covers all of the people in the federal government, whether it's the post office or the VA. A lot of people sign up for it when they're young. I swear, I would give someone $1,000 if they could walk up to me and tell me what their FEGLI coverage is, because no one knows what it is. But they're paying for it out of every paycheck. And it also increases in value at 50, and then again at 55, and then again at 60. And it is good to have some certain parts of it, but trying to figure out what you have or how to elect the right parts was why we have been so successful, because it's so difficult. So a lot of stuff that we do for federal employees and even for regular families is kind of like pro bono HR. Figure out what you have, explain it to you, and figure out what the best avenue is to get you to where you want to be.
So you describe a book that's about 3 inches thick, and there are probably 12 usable pages.
Yeah.
That you're talking about.
In there, Galen, we literally go through. Tina can fill out and put Post-it notes on there. But Galen will go through and fill out a retirement book for federal employees for free. That's one of the things that we've always done for federal employees is, we don't charge for a financial analysis, and we also don't charge to fill out their retirement book, which takes us about an hour.
So turn it around and let's talk about people who aren't federal employees and how they would approach it, because they're probably not going to have that big 3-inch book, but the basic information for savings and instituting all of your different plans, your pensions, your 401ks, however it happens to be, those are going to be the same sorts of things.
So what I would say the fun thing is about regular people, non-federal employees, we'll call them, or civilians, in the end, they all are very similar to federal employees, right? Federal employees is like the same thing. Galen could do it with a blindfold on and not even look at anything and figure it all out. We've done it so much for that. And inside federal employees, we always work with their spouses, right? Because in reality, a family retires, the household, someone is taking health insurance, things work together. It's smart to work as a team when you go into retirement, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we get to figure out fun stuff for the spouse or for the family members where, I have this inheritance that I need to do something with. That's something that not every federal employee has. So that's where Galen gets to do fun stuff, and we get to see more of what is available out there, because there's only certain, when we work with federal employees, there's only so much that they want to do, or only so many certain things that they can do. When we work with other families and younger people, we're getting into UGMAs, which is the Universal Gift to Minors Act, where you can gift money to children. We've had a lot of people ask about the Trump tax baby credit thing that happened last year. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
You know about this? $1,000, I guess, if your baby was born last year or this year. It's supposed to be coming out soon, but we've gotten calls about that too. So with regular people, we get into more fun, different stuff. It's not the same thing like federal employees.
Can you and Galen and the rest of the team at GCES, can you work with somebody and say to them, all right, let's get a little creative with this, because you have this as part of your portfolio, and we can be a little bit, there are different options, say with this, and this is going to give you the best benefit in this way, or you could do this, and that'll give you a better benefit down the road a piece. You can work within all of that structure?
Absolutely, yeah. So Galen, the cool thing, whenever we started this, we learned and were brought into this business by people that didn't do what we do now, right? They were there to sell life insurance to federal employees. They didn't care about what they had or what they needed or what their finances were like, right? And that didn't sit well with us. That only lasted for 5 months. In the very beginning, the company went under, thank God. And that's when we started our own thing. That gave us a good example of what we don't want to do. We've been really successful in sitting down with people and just helping them. Do you know what I mean? We're not there to make a sale. In the end, will we make a sale? Yeah, absolutely, because we deal with a lot of great products and we can do a lot better than what everyone typically has. But as a fiduciary, Galen just has to make sure that whatever he's putting people into is better than what they already had. Right? So, and that is really simple because things constantly get better and people probably haven't looked at that stuff in 5, 10, 15 years. So the getting creative thing is kind of cool, right? So federal employees, they all have their thrift savings plan, and it is the same thing. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be their income for the rest of their life. We're not going to play with that. You know what I mean? But there are times where, hey, my estranged uncle died. I just got $300,000. I already have $1 million for retirement. what can I do with this $3,000 or $300,000? And that's where Galen can put it into something different. And also too, we talk about all of these different products and like there's all these different things and rules and things that you can do with them and all these different places you have to call. Yeah. There's also like thousands of products and things that you can only do certain stuff with. So I think that's what you're talking about where, hey, I have this really weird thing that isn't uncommon, but like I have stock in corn or something, you know what I mean? There's whatever it is, Galen can figure out what that is and hey, what can we do with it? Yeah. And in that process, he's going to figure out what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What would you like to do, have that money do for you? And let's figure out what we have to put it in to do it.
So there are a ton of different plans out there. And each of these companies has put together this plan. There's this fund and that fund. And investing in this fund is going to get you this return. And investing in that one is going to draw down here while building up there. Yeah. And so Galen can look at each of those and he can say, well, this is where, and by the way, if your estranged uncle gives you $300,000, imagine if you were getting along.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But if, here's this chunk of money that I'm taking into my retirement years. How can I make this last and maybe even make it grow, even though I'm drawing from it for my retirement? Yeah. You can do that.
Yeah, that's literally what Galen does with everyone. When Galen sits down with someone, he'll go over what their income is now, right? And look at what they're making now while they're working. After that, he figures out Social Security. He figures out the TSP or the 401k, any other investments that you have, anywhere that you're going to be getting money in monthly. And then he looks at that and says, okay, now let's look at your deductions. You're not going to be paying your union dues because you're not going to be in union anymore. Or you might decide to, whatever, right? But there's certain things that you're not going to pay. You're not going to be paying into Social Security. You're going to be collecting from it. So he'll figure out how your taxes and all that wash out in the end to figure out what your net income is going to be off of your investments and everything in retirement.
What your travel expenses are, how they're going to be reduced by you not having to go to work every day.
Or increased by traveling more.
Yeah.
So it's really, it is customizable for everyone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how you go into a doctor and they're like, what hurts? And you're like, this hurts. And then they fix that, right? Or try to fix that. It's the same thing where you come in and you're like, hey, what is it in your finances are hurting you? Or what is it that you need fixed? Or what are you trying to accomplish? Let's do that together.
Yeah. So that's what GCES does and can do for people. Still working with government employees, and it sounds like a very good chunk of what you do is with government employees, but really would like to have others who aren't working for the government and aren't drawing on government salary, who are out in private enterprise, come to you and work with them too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of amazing clients. We're in over 40 states right now. We're going to be going nationwide in the next 6 months, which is kind of exciting. But we actually, I think it's through you guys, the Best of Indiana County. I think it was 2023. We got gold and was voted the #1 financial advisor in Indiana. Now, does that mean that all of our clients that voted for us were in Indiana? No, but we got all the votes and we got gold. So yay for us, right? But at that point, that's when we actually changed our name from Government and Civil Employee Services. Everyone thinks it's Galen and Clint's Exceptional Services, but it was Government and Civil Employee Services.
You would have changed it to CGES.
Yeah, Clint and Galen's. Yeah, I should have went first. He went first because he's older.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So we changed it from Government and Civil Employee Services to GCES. We've been doing this for 15 years. We've been in the Wall Street Journal. We've been in U.S. News and World Report a ton of times. It's not, we're a big deal, if that makes sense, in the insurance world. We've done a lot. We've been able to help a lot of federal employees, and we've done well because we're trying to help people. We want to be able to sleep at night. And we want to be able to help people at the same time figure out their finances and make better decisions.
If Galen were here, I know that you'd throw this question over to him, but I'm going to throw it at you.
Yeah.
People do their planning for retirement, and they think they're in good shape. This is where I need to be. Of course, one of the great unknowns about retirement, and what's known is that eventually we all get sick and we all have those end-of-life issues. We don't know what those expenses are going to be. We want to plan for those and make sure that those unknowns that are out there, and we know they're there, but we just don't know what the numbers are with them. We're prepared for that, and it's not going to break us. So that's the big question people have is, how am I going to be assured that whatever my healthcare situation is, my retirement can handle it and I can still live comfortably the way I want to live?
That's really everything that Galen does. You know, whenever he sits down with people and looks at all of their finances, we kind of have an understanding of what, you know, where can we pull money from in an emergency situation, right? What's the best way to do it right now? And we help people with that when they aren't really well prepared. But, you know, a lot of times the TSP or a 401k will roll into an annuity, right? Inside of those annuities, they have riders, which is usually what Galen would recommend. I know that's what he would recommend because you're already buying that annuity, and the rider inside of there could provide long-term care or something along those lines to get what you're talking about, right? Some people will go out and buy cancer policies, right? And then Galen will sit down with them and be like, well, who in your family has had cancer ever? No one. Okay. So maybe a cancer policy might not be the best option. Disability, we have a lot of issues with that too, where disability policies, people will get disability policies and that's great. Sometimes they pay out. In our time of working with them, we have never seen a client's disability policy pay out where they will look in your paperwork and 6 years ago, a doctor looked at your shoulder. It's a pre-existing condition. It's not covered, right? Even if it was just to check it, a heart issue, anything like that, where it's really hard to fight disability cases. That's why we often say, you know, you don't know that you're going to need it. So put it inside of something you're already purchasing, which you're going to pay for it inside of that policy because it's a rider. It's going to add on a little bit to the policy. So you might make less per month, but you have that safety net knowing that that is there should you ever need it.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the other big issues when you retire is I've been comfortable living comfortably at this income level. I'm going to retire. I'm not going to have this income level anymore. My income is going to be lower. How do I fill in that gap between what I was making before and what I have now, and or what I will be making now when I enter into retirement? Because that was a really good and is a really good, comfortable way to live, and I want to keep living that way.
Call us and schedule an appointment today.
That's what you need to do?
Yeah, that's what you need to do. No, I mean, really, that is what you need to do. If you know, a lot of people think, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, right? That I'm going to be fine in retirement, but they have never actually sat down with a financial advisor. You know, it's free for someone to come in and have a financial analysis with Galen. It's going to give you all of the information that you need. It'll help you understand what you have better, and we can make recommendations of how to make it even better after that. But that's, you know, a lot of people think that I'm going to retire and I'm going to make less money. That is not the case all the time. That more than often is not the case.
Doesn't have to be the case.
It doesn't have to be the case.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of people that if you've been saving your whole life, if you've never saved money and all you have is Social Security, well, good luck. That's going to be all that you have. If you have been putting money into your investments and you have been trying to prepare for retirement, all of that is going to come into place somehow. And Galen can show you the best way to do it and how to make it last the longest. But if you think about like $100,000, you don't want to just pull $1,000 out every month. It's going to last you 100 months. That's not very long. You're going to run out of money. There are ways to protect your money and never run out of money. Yeah. And that's an add-on inside of an annuity. It's a like guaranteed income for life.
Yeah.
Something you can add on.
Yeah. How about that? How about that? So it doesn't have to be, and people might enter into retirement a little bit anxious that they're not going to be able to maintain the lifestyle that they want to. But GCES can work on them with that and can make them feel comfortable about it.
A lot of people are scared whenever they come in to talk to us. I mean, they'd never act like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like a 56-year-old dude and his wife. They're not going to act scared. But a lot of times we hear from the wife, thank you so much afterwards. We feel a lot better now. We're a lot more comfortable that we know what's going on. And a lot of times it's just that people haven't checked into it a while. You know, a lot of people set it when they're hired and then forget it and then check into it later every couple years. But we definitely recommend, if you haven't had an appointment yet, call us as soon as you can. 724-915-0005 is Sam's number. She can help you set up an appointment to meet with Galen. We do Zooms. You can come to our office on 43 South 9th Street. I feel like you're going to ask me this, so I'm just going through it. 43 South 9th Street, or just give Sam a call and schedule it for Zoom or in your house.
All right, so the big question is, Galen's sitting at home. He's watching this on Facebook, and he's saying to himself, no, Clinton, don't say that.
Right.
You know, that's not right. How many times do you think he was tempted to pick up the phone and call in and say, Clinton, come on?
That is a good idea. We should have FaceTimed him and made him join us. Yeah.
We could have done that way.
Yeah.
From his sickbed,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check as soon as I get in my car. I'm gonna see if he liked the video.
And his corrections of whatever it was that you said.
Yeah.
All right. So GCES, give that number again.
724-915-0005 and talk to Sam to set up an appointment.
There you go. Now, we've got a couple of minutes left with Clinton Smith, who always is involved in other things. So what's the newest that's coming up for you?
So Humane Society, we just unveiled the Humane Hero Circle a month or so ago. It's so funny. I looked at the clock. I thought we were done at 25, but I guess we have 5 more minutes. So Humane Society stuff is going great. I am back on the chamber board, which is exciting. There's some exciting stuff going on there. I don't know if you noticed. Did you see Joyce Sharman was honored last weekend by the United Way?
Certainly did. I wanted to be there. Joyce wanted me to be there with her, and I couldn't because I had a basketball playoff game I had to call. But how about that?
Yeah.
And what a night.
She is awesome. By the way, she helped. I know that you know this. She helped us set up the Humane Heroes Circle for the
Humane Society.
That's so many words in there. For the Humane Society. And she's awesome. I love Joyce. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to be here. Actually, Beth Finnegan is going to be here, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on the schedule. I wrote Beth in the book. I'm assuming it's Beth Finnegan.
Yeah, I would assume. I don't know any other Beths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of that is going on. How about Eddie Parks the other night?
Very nice. Wow. Yeah. I wasn't able to make it, but it looked like a great event. It looked like it was well attended. Mike Clark was there. So good job, Aaron and Rob.
Yeah.
I think they're wrapping up here very soon. I know that they have their invites out for the 27th, I believe.
Yeah, that's when it is. That's when the big wrap up comes.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
And also, too, I will mention we have our first floor office space, amazing looking rentals available for businesses. So I have 5 different spots available now. If anyone's looking for office space, it includes all of your utilities. Over right down here on 43 South 9th Street.
Yeah. So you're completely moved in for your offices.
Yeah.
And you're on the 2nd and 3rd floors?
Yeah, we're on the 2nd floor mostly. We're also on the 3rd floor, but it's really just an empty floor that we, have for activities and fun.
There you go.
But first floor is all going to be open for business rentals. Right now, my tattoo parlor is in there, Adornment Tattoo. He was our first tenant. He's been in there since like October.
Your tattoo
My
parlor.
tattoo guy.
You have tattoos?
I all over me. Yeah.
People
Facebook
can
knows.
see.
Yeah,
People can
Facebook
see. Don't
knows.
take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Clinton, thanks so much for
Thank
being
you so
with
much,
us.
Todd. We'll see you soon.
GCES. And what's the website, Clinton, real quick?
GCES.us.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com.